The Bob Rivers Show. Bob, Spike, and Joe on 102.5 KZOK FM, KZOK HD Channel 1 Seattle, and streaming live at KZOK.com.
And so castles made of sand melts into the sea eventually.
Reported in the Tacoma News Tribune today. Joe read the story about Federal Way. They're getting the big World Championship sand sculpting, and the city has put up $81,000 for it. Joe says, should they be spending that money while turning a blind eye to all the wasteful spending in his own town, Bellevue? Typical Joe.
Well, leave my town out of it, for starters. It has nothing to do with this story.
Well, Maura brought up an arts festival in your town.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be great. I'm going to take the bus down there. It'll be nice.
Yeah, but not in my sandbox.
They've been doing it for 40, 50 years in Bellevue.
It is a nice show, too.
Generates a lot of money for the city.
So far, most of the positives have come on the phone and lots of positives on the text, and the only negative calls we've had have not been calls. They've been on the text message, right? Everyone else says you bring this sand festival to Federal Way.
I say no. Come on. There's not a sand beach in Federal Way worth doing this at.
That's the text.
Yeah.
All the callers are for it. Here's Clay in Shoreline. By the way, you can call us at 1-800-252-1025 or text us at 24300. Clay.
Hey there.
Yeah.
Hey, first of all, quit picking on Casey for being 30. You guys wish you were 30 again.
You bet. You're right. Absolutely.
We picked a medium that doesn't care how old we are.
Isn't Federal Way have the big Olympic Aquatic Center down there?
Yes, they do. They got a heck of a swimming pool that they built at considerable expense for the Goodwill Games.
Maybe they should dump the sand over there and they can have swimming and sand castles. But anyway, I think it's a good idea because it's going to bring money into the city. I mean, the hotels will fill up, the restaurants will fill up. It's a way to... In theory, you're right. Well, yeah, I mean... Who shows up? I know. It's 850 in Federal Way. I don't know. I don't think I'm driving down there for it.
Well, that's the thing. I don't know. That's what I...
We have young Barbara Walters here. What say you?
Well, I have to ask, theoretically, they're going to bring in a bunch of
Could you
people.
say theoretically?
Theoretically.
Okay.
Very good.
Theoretically. They're going to be bringing in all these people that are going to help offset the cost. But the total that we've come up with, what is it, 81,000?
81,000 they bet on it.
81,000 that they're out. Are they going to bring in enough people that's going to offset that $81,000?
Good question.
That's the $81,000 question.
Thank you, Clay. Rissa is in Seattle. Hello, Rissa.
Hi, Bob.
Hi, how's it going?
Oh, pretty good. I agree with the last caller. I think that they are going to bring a lot of money into the city, and the reason that I agree with it is because I used to be part of sand sculpting competitions, and there is a huge crowd. Theoretically, this could bring hundreds of thousands of people into the city unexpectedly.
This is already a popular event.
Oh, yeah. They used to do it in Portland and Lincoln City down in Oregon, and you'd go see, and you couldn't even move through the crowds.
And this could make Federal Way cool.
It really could.
How much did you pay to go see those?
Playboy Mansion and their own Disney World couldn't make Federal Way cool.
I don't know. I don't know much about Federal Way. I know my son Andrew lived there for a while.
Yeah, no, the admission then was $6, and I know that they made a lot of money off of it.
So people came. Okay, well, I may be totally wrong. I may be totally wrong, and I don't live in Federal Way, but when you look at the economics of this, it reminds me of a dear friend of mine who's departed. He was a concert promoter. He's no longer with us, but he always saw huge crowds coming to his concerts that he would promote. And tickets wouldn't sell, but he always thought, yeah, when the time comes, they will come. And oftentimes they didn't, and he lost a lot of money. This guy is putting this on so far he's got $5,000 worth of skin in the game. And the city, before they voted on this, said you're supposed to have $25,000.
So he didn't come up with all his money.
Before you even come to us. City council voted 3-2 with a bunch of them deciding to be somewhere else or abstaining because nobody really wants to go on record on this thing to give him the money. So it just seems like to me, I don't want to be a naysayer. Maybe I am totally out of the sandcastle building demo. Maybe
you have a little girl.
I know, and maybe this
You're right in the depth.
Maybe this is going to be huge, but it just looks like it.
When is it? I want to go now.
Well, and that's the other thing. It says it starts in September and ends in October. It's like a month.
Oh, it's a month long.
Masterpieces take time.
Yeah, does it start like they start making them in September and you watch them make them?
September 3rd to October something.
You've done this before, Rissa. How does it work?
Usually you have a crew and there's a master artist. You follow the master artist, and you have to get the sand in the right consistency, and you start building. Usually there's a lot of design work. Sometimes they have to bring in machinery depending on how big or how wide or how cool it's going to be. And, yeah, it takes time.
After these are made, you don't destroy them, do you? Do you spray them with something and make them solid and take them away as statues?
No, it depends on who you're working with. I've had some fun destroying them before.
Some of these weigh 50 tons, these sculptures. These are huger, bigger than life-size reproductions of.
So what would I see?
natural
Would I see
treasures.
like Shrek?
Well, it wouldn't win you any money. Shrek's so last year.
Oh.
You'll see the Capitol,
Toy
the U.S.
Story?
Capitol.
Will I see Mel Gibson on the phone?
That's what you'll see this year. There's the key this year, my friend.
All right, thank you very much, Rissa. Take a couple of other calls, 1-800-252-1025. Ben in Auburn lives in Federal Way. What do you say?
Well, I was just thinking that maybe it was that Federal Way has their priorities a little bit mixed up, because I remember reading an article, and I think it was the Mirror, our local paper, indicating that the city council was hard-pressed to give a tax break to PJ Pockets, being that that's a local casino that we've had for some time in Federal Way, to rehire their 300-plus employees, and that they were really having a hard time giving them that I guess it's a $500,000 tax break, if I'm remembering their article correctly. Now, I'll take my kids down to see these sculptures and stuff, but if they're hurting for money, then they need to look for it elsewhere other than, my great tax rate that I've got.
Now, will they get their money back if this thing sells enough tickets, Joe? Are they just risking the money or giving the money?
They're risking the money, but the break-even amount, the statistics are in this, and it's tens of thousands.
The break-even amount is $399,000 is budgeted, and they need to get how many thousand people there to do it? 37,900 to break even.
That's a lot of tickets.
But they think they might get 80,000 people.
But the main sticking number is there's 400,000 budgeted for this, and so far they have 5,000, except for the 80,000 they've got.
And I'm checking out their website, and they have a page for the sponsors, and it's not a good sign. They have none, zero.
Who would sponsor sand sculpture?
Somebody makes that Cruex Jock Itch, because that's really that's their bailiwick.
Well, there's a couple of sandwich shops over there that their sandwiches taste
Sandwich shop.
All I'm saying is you got a.
Let's get Casey on this story. She'll make this more fun.
You got a $400,000 event that you're saying I'm going through with come, sand or high water or whatever you want to call it. And so far
you just equated sand with hell.
Well, you've got $5,000. You've got $5,000.
I would like to differ.
You've got $5,000 to pay for.
You're as bad as cable news, my friend.
For $400,000 in bills.
All right, thank you, Kira in Puyallup. Hello.
Hi. I was just down in Long Beach last weekend, and they did the sand sculpture thing, and it was a huge deal down there. You could not find a motel room anywhere. But
I think it's going to be monstrous.
Well, the other lady was saying that she was down in.
Do you know why Joe hates this? I could put it in one simple sentence. Sand is inedible.
I'm sure there'll be. If these were spam castles,
you would be right there.
But let me put it.
My point is, all of these are on the beach.
That's exactly my thought.
Long-
These places are in California where they have coastlines full of sand. Federal Way?
Long Beach in July sounds pretty wonderful for sand.
All right.
Federal Way in October?
Let's take someone else. Here's Ken in Clay Elum. Hello, Ken.
Morning, Bob, Spike, Joe.
You're on. What say you about Federal Way and their sand festival?
Well, it sounded like in your article that the money is coming from their hotel motel tax fund, which is intended for that type of putting heads on beds.
Actually, the money is coming from a $3 million downtown development fund, which is, again, the same thing. It's money designed to develop downtown, and if you get a festival like this going, it can be huge.
The first 20-some grand did come from the hotel motel tax fund. Now they've had to kick in 50-some
from the
grand
downtown
more.
development fund. And I say, who's got $3 million laying around just to hang doilies around downtown these days?
Federal Way.
It's cool.
Right, but that hotel motel tax money is intended for those kinds of functions, and that's
what it's for.
And that's all I wanted to bring up.
Thank you, Ken.
Okay.
He thinks they're using the money appropriately. So that's that story.
If it's my city, I'd want them to spend the 50 grand on coming up with a clever saying like ahead of the curve or something. It does a lot more for your municipality. I may be wrong. We'll see.
I got to just let him fade away. Don't talk to him. Joe's not happy.
I'm not unhappy.
You wanted to stir up a hornet's nest.
I won't take me, trust me. I don't live there.
Yes, Eric.
I got a call from an anonymous employee of the city of Federal Way who is outraged. Basically, he says that the city.
Joe, you've had your wish now.
Well, you
woke up this morning saying, "I'd like to outrage somebody."
I don't live there, but I would be a little bit outraged, especially if the people I'm paying to lead my city, the city council, most of them didn't even bother to say yes or no either way.
No.